I stand at the entrance of Belmont's, my fingers tightening around my leather clutch. Through the amber glow of vintage chandeliers, I can see them laughing. Wine glasses held high in some private celebration. My family. The maître smiles at me with practiced warmth. Your name, miss? Before I can answer, my mother's voice cuts across the dining room. Oh, there she is, finally. Heads turn. I feel the weight of strangers' curious glances as I step forward. The quiet click of my heels against marble marking each step. My black dress is simple but well-tailored, the kind that whispers success rather than screams it. They position themselves at the restaurant's finest table, the one with the view of the downtown skyline. I once dreamed of being part of. Mother, cousin Lucas, his wife Brittany. The light catches the ruby. Pendant at my mother's throat, a gift from my father before cancer took him during my sophomore year of college. I approach the table and stop, noticing immediately what they've chosen not to see. There is no chair for me. Lucas sprawls comfortably, one arm draped across the back of his chair, the other holding a glass of something amber and expensive. His smirk arrives before his words do. This table is for family, he says, not bothering to lower his voice. Go find a spot outside. The couple at the neighboring table pauses mid-conversation, their discomfort palpable. Don't take it the wrong way, Rachel. Brittany chimes in with sugar-coated venom. Lucas is just joking, but he isn't, and we all know it. I say nothing, my face betraying nothing, as I drag a chair from a nearby table. The legs scrape against the floor, the sound harsh against the restaurant's soft piano music. My mother doesn't meet my eyes. Helen Harrington, once the backbone of our family, now just another vertebra bent to accommodate Lucas's posturing. She fiddles with her napkin, smoothing imaginary wrinkles. You're late, she says finally, as if my arrival 15 minutes early somehow disrupted their decades-long narrative. I settle into my mismatched chair. Traffic. I lie. The truth that I sat in my car for 20 minutes debating whether to come at Oliver's. No strategic advantage. As I watch them clink glasses, a memory surfaces sharp and uninvited. For years earlier, my childhood bedroom stripped to bare walls, cardboard boxes containing everything I own stacked by the door. This business idea of yours is just another phase, my father had said, leaning against the doorframe. Not angry, worse, dismissive. You'll be back when reality sets in. I'd moved that day into an apartment so small the kitchen table doubled as my first office desk. I worked 18-hour days, ate ramen heated in a microwave that sparked if you ran it too long, and built my company one client at a time. That first Christmas, I'd called home. The sounds of laughter and clinking glasses had filled the background as my mother explained they were just having a small gathering, one I wasn't invited to. When Rudy and Corp signed my first six-figure contract, the validation that changed everything I'd wanted to call them. Instead, I'd opened a bottle of champagne with my 2 employees and toast it to those who believe in themselves when no one else will. Rachel, earth to Rachel. Lucas snaps his fingers in front of my face. I blink, straightening in my chair. Yes, we've been talking about St. Bart's, Brittany says, twisting her dime in tennis bracelet. Lucas and I went in January. The Rothschilds were actually staying at our resort. I take a sip of water. 3 days ago, my mother's desperate phone call had broken our usual pattern of polite, monthly check-ins. It's been so long, sweetie. Everyone misses you. Her voice had carried that particular tone, the one that speaks more in its silence than its words. But loneliness is a powerful motivator, and some buried part of me still longed for a place at the family table. Now I see Lucas's new Rolex glinting as he gestures a watch that costs more than the monthly rent for my first office space. Brittany's purse casually displayed on an empty chair, the designer logo prominently facing outward. Their conversation bounces from exclusive vacation spots to luxury purchases. with the frantic energy of performers who've forgotten their next line. I don't participate, I watch. The waiter arrives with coffee, and I wrap my hands around the warm mug, observing the theater playing out before me. You know what? I'm splurging tonight, Lucas announces, tapping the menu decisively. The Wagyu ribeye. And let's do the 2015 Bordeaux. He tells the waiter without looking up the price. Life's too short for cheap food. Brittany nods enthusiastically. Lobster for me. And maybe we should start with champagne. It's a special occasion. We should treat ourselves. One by one, they order the most expensive items on the menu, exchanging knowing glances when they think I'm not looking. My mother nervously fidgets with her napkin, complicit but uncomfortable. I hide my small smile behind my coffee cup as understanding dawns. Now I know exactly why I'm here. So then I told the Andersons that waterfront properties in this market are practically giving themselves away, Lucas says, swirling his wine with practiced nonchalance. They signed the paperwork that afternoon. 2 hours. 2 hours of carefully choreographed conversation that flows around me like water around a stone. Every time I open my mouth to speak, Lucas's voice rises half an octave, drowning out my words before they can take root. Nobody cares about work talk at dinner. He interrupts when I begin, describing our company's expansion into the European market. His hand dismissively waves in the air between us. We're here to catch up on family stuff. Family stuff. As if I'm not family. As if my life's work is somehow less significant than his fabricated real estate victories. I take a measured sip of water, mentally documenting each slight. The waiter has refilled my glass 4 times. I've barely touched my food, watching, listening, learning. You look good for someone who works all the time, Brittany offers, her eyes scanning my face for signs of fatigue she can comment on. Do you ever actually leave that office of yours? Before I can answer, she launches into a story about her spa weekend. The words rejuvenation and self-care falling from her lips with practiced ease. My mother reaches across the table, her fingers briefly brushing my wrist. Let's all just enjoy being together, she says, her smile strained at the edges. It's been too long. Whose fault is that? I almost ask, but don't. Instead, I nod and cut a small piece of my untouched salmon. Oh, Lucas, tell Rachel about that new place we tried last month. My mother says suddenly. The Italian one with the chandeliers made from Venetian glass. I set my fork down carefully. Last month. An awkward silence descends, brief but heavy. We try to do this monthly, Brittany explains, examining her manicure. Family dinner. It's tradition. A tradition I'm just now hearing about. I say, the realization settling like ice in my stomach. Lucas clears his throat. Well, you're always so busy, running your little company and all. The diminutive stings exactly as intended. I straighten imperceptibly in my chair. Not too busy for family if invited. My mother's eyes dart nervously between us. More wine, anyone? Lucas seizes the opportunity to shift topics. Speaking of business, he leans forward, his Rolex catching the light. The market's been brutal lately. 3 deals fell through last week. He looks pointedly at me. Not everyone can be swimming in success. I recognize the play immediately. The suggestion of struggle, the implication of need. That Mercedes you were looking at might need to wait, Brittany says, placing a comforting hand on his arm. Such a difficult time to be making big purchases, she turns to me. I've been trying to find something to replace my Audi, but everything is just so expensive these days, even the base models. My mother nods sympathetically before adding, Rachel has been so blessed financially with her business taking off like it has. There it is. The setup crystallizes before me, elegant in its simplicity. The expensive restaurant, the lavish orders, the stories of financial hardship followed by pointed references to my success. They didn't invite me to dinner. They invited my wallet. The waiter approaches with practiced timing. a leather-bound check folder nestled in his hands. Lucas catches his eye and nods slightly. The folder lands directly in front of me with a soft thud. I don't immediately reach for it. The silence stretches, heavy with expectation. Lucas finally says, leaning back with a triumphant smile, "Thanks for dinner, Rachel. You don't mind, right? We figured since you're doing so well." All eyes turn to me. My mother's fingers nervously twist her napkin. Brittany's smile is brittle at the edges. Lucas radiates entitled confidence. My phone buzzes in my purse. I retrieve it, glancing at the screen. "Meeting confirmed for 9 p.m. We've locked in the Singapore contract. Celebrating at the office whenever you can make it, Diane." A picture forms in my mind. My business partner, Diane, who stayed until 3 a.m. helping me finish our first major proposal. Miguel from development, who brought me soup when I worked through a fever to meet a deadline. Sarah from legal, who believed in our vision enough to leave her corner office at a prestigious firm. People who saw my potential, celebrated my victories, supported me through setbacks. My chosen family. The contrast is stark and clarifying. Blood ties do not automatically confer loyalty, respect, or love. Those qualities must be earned, cultivated through consistent action and mutual regard. I pick up the check slowly, examining it with careful attention. The table collectively exhales, relief rippling across their features. My mother's shoulders relax. Lucas's smirk deepens. Brittany adjusts her designer purse, already moving on to her next thought. I set the bill down directly in front of Lucas. My voice, when it comes, is quiet but firm. "I'm not your personal ATM." The silence that follows is absolute. Lucas's face flushes red. Brittany's mouth opens slightly, no words emerging. My mother is the first to recover. "Rachel, honey," she says, her voice taking on the placating tone she used when I was a child having a difficult moment. "You can help them at a little, can't you? We're family, family." The word hangs between us, its meaning twisted beyond recognition. In their definition, family means I give and they take. My success becomes communal property while my struggles remain solitary burdens. I meet my mother's eyes directly. Yes, we are family, which is why I deserve the same respect you'd give to anyone else at this table. The trembling begins in Lucas's hands first, a slight vibration that travels up his arms as the reality of my refusal sets in. $2,000 of carefully cultivated entitlement crashing against the sea-wall of my quiet dignity. I stand gathering my purse, not in anger or haste, but with the deliberate movements of a woman reclaiming her worth one boundary at a time. I walk away from the table from there, expectations from the toxic dynamics that kept me small for so long. As I push through the restaurant doors into the cool night air, I feel lighter than I have in years. The weight of their judgment falls away, leaving only the clear certainty of my own worth. I drive toward my office, where my real family awaits, people who see me, value me, and celebrate my success without reservation. This is where I belong.